So, welcome back to a brand new podcast episode of Family Seasons by Coach Tia and a special co host, Mr. Damien Dalcour, and our special edition of the 12 Days of Podcast. This is our final podcast on, just the different topics that we have been bringing to you all. And so, we're super excited to be wrapping it all up and to just to even pray for you all as we hope these podcasts have been a blessing to your life. So, welcome, Mr. Damien.
Hey, thanks again, Miss Tia, for having me on your podcast again as co-host. And I think we got a really unique topic today on what brings families together, for the holidays, and what metrics we can use to, I guess, encourage that.
Exactly. And so let me ask you, as I say, this is our 12th podcast, and this was actually your idea. I don't know if I mentioned that in podcast number 1, but, we were talking about this. We were talking about doing something, and you were like, hey, what about the 12 days of podcast? And I thought it was really, I didn't know it was going to be a lot of work, which it has been indeed a labor of love, but it has, I've enjoyed putting it together. So, what has been your takeaway, in just all of this?
Miss Tia, as we discussed, before, I initiated the idea of the 12 days of Christmas, I kind of shared with you that the holidays for many years for me have always been kind of dark and grim. And, we talked about the real reason of the season. And, through this 12 days of Christmas, I've kind of reflected on that a little bit more, and I was like, we really don't have a need to be sad or down through these times of celebration.
Right.
And although I may not have the family to extend out to or what have you, I still have you.
Exactly.
And I still have the listeners who interact with you to say the difference that we made.
Exactly.
So I kind of can put it in perspective of the growth process. People are growing despite my shortcoming, with a reflection of my experience.
Right.
And I think you and I both know that there are many people out there that are going through, dark times, hard times, financial constraints, and so on. But we have to understand that tough times don't last, but tough people do.
That's true.
And I think what's gotten me through over the times is just being tough, Tia.
Right.
You have allowed me to feel that I'm truly cherished by you as a friend.
Exactly.
And I was, thank you for that. In a lifetime, you get one good friend.
Right.
And you're definitely a good one. So I have to acknowledge that God put us together for some reason or another. And even though I might not be there to put, the frosting on your cakes or hang up your Christmas lights, I still, through this 12 days of Christmas, have experienced all of that.
Right. Exactly. That's
So,
true.
but kind of talk to me. What, how do you want to get this session going? And some things that we could potentially talk about to bring our listeners more closer this holiday season.
Right. Well, you know what? And let me just say, I do appreciate you for acknowledging that. And it's been likewise, God brought us together. And I think we've shared this in one of our other podcasts, how he brought us together. Me basically needing someone to come and help me out, with a plumbing issue. And here you come. And little did we know that he had a whole nother plan. And so we know God definitely, he does things in an amazing way. So I'm grateful that you have, that you've joined me, and we have so many more great topics or years to come of us just being able to share and being able to basically inspire our listeners, because we do realize that from, both of our experiences, we've gone through some very difficult times. And it's because we've gone through those times, are we now able to share with others to say, hey, if I made it, or if I am making it, then I believe that you can too. And that's what it's about. It's not to, put on this facade and act like all things are all well. No, that's not the case. This is about family seasons. These are the seasons that families go through. And, throughout, since I started back in September 2019, I've been able to really, talk about various seasons. And so with this, this little, this idea that you had, the 12 days of podcast to, just kind of do, brief, because we didn't do it as long as we normally, some of the podcasts were 10 minutes, some were 20 minutes, but, being able to just come in with a smaller version of what we plan to do, throughout the next season, that has been, quite impactful. And so I'm grateful for that. Definitely looking forward to it.
And Tia, I'm glad to know that a simple idea out of my hat really made a difference with the podcast. And
Right.
and today I want to talk about how could you bring your families together to have a more meaning and reason for the season.
Right.
And if you would just allow me to just touch on a few of those.
Right.
Um, I think the first one is just a better off well-being of yourself and your health issues. I don't think no day can be what it can be if you ain't and you're not right in the mind and you're not healthy.
Exactly.
And believe it or not, I listened to some of your other co-hosts for the different topics, and man, I just didn't realize it, but these holiday traditions are more important than I thought they were.
Exactly.
And
Right.
even though I'm a single guy, man, I really would like to do some things together with somebody.
Exactly.
I've been in my home for 20 years. It's never been decorated for Christmas. I've never had a Christmas tree until you had me buy one this year. But I'll be honest to you, it was just a little Charlie Brown Christmas tree from Walgreens.
It didn't matter. It didn't matter. Remember, I told you I was going to even bring something similar over, but you made you made the initiative to at least
Right.
consider. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's huge.
It,
That's
it,
huge.
it is, and preparing a Christmas dinner together with somebody or just having dinner.
Right. Exactly.
Decorating cookies or building a gingerbread house or making holiday cards.
Right.
So many people have said, Damien, let's go look at the Christmas lights and let's go do this and let's go ice skating. I just turned them all down.
Right.
And I really don't want to be in the presence of others with a blue face, if you know what I mean. And I don't want to deprive anyone from their happiness. And I just want to admit sometimes it's just hard for me to be happy.
Right.
And I understand it comes from within, but I find a lot of joy in this podcast stuff and people not knowing who I am, and it's kind of like I'm a secret operator. Like, who is this Damien guy? He's giving good tips. Who is he? You talk about the pictures and stuff. No, Tia, I don't want them to see who I am. Put the sack over my head. Put the mask on me. And I need to get away from that.
Right.
And
That's true.
And maybe through this podcast we'll develop some healing for a better Damien, for a better holiday, for the betterment of all of us.
Exactly.
When I close my eyes, Tia, I think of all our listeners somewhere around the holiday time just together. Around the holiday tree singing Christmas songs or at a Thanksgiving dinner, giving thanks. Or at a celebration of Independence Day, watching fireworks together. I can envision that.
Right.
So I think this is the first step towards that.
And if I know you as such a visionary, you will figure out by 4th of July, you will figure out a way of making that happen. I can't wait how that will turn out.
Tia, I'm very intuitive in a lot of ways.
Right.
I just don't share a lot of that intuition with others.
But that engineer in you, you're always. I know you're trying to. You'll figure it out, and I just can't wait until to hear the presentation of it. Okay, let's do this and let's do that. But that's the beauty of when God brings people together. And we talk about families. This is what I know for certain. God, and I would say this as a family life coach, I truly believe in the purpose of family. I believe that families were created as a team, we all have a role to play. And if we all play our role properly, then it makes us a greater team. It makes us a better team. One of the things I know, as you just mentioned, and just to kind of piggyback off of that, it's so important to work on self first. So as I said, when you have that individual role, what is my role in this family? What am I supposed to do? And you'd be surprised, of all the years that I've been working with families, there are so many families, when I go into their family, into their homes, to talk to them about the family having a vision or having a dream. So many families don't have a dream. They don't have a vision. And we all know that if you don't have a dream or a vision, then where are you headed? Here's the thing. This is the key to it all. You have to have a family vision, a family dream, because you've got to have something in the forefront that you're working towards together as a family.
That's true. I like that a lot.
Now what that dream is or what that vision is, that's something that you all talk about. But what I do know is that when you start, and this as a team member in your work or whatever it is that you're doing, and I know you just have had a vast experience in so many different areas, but when each member plays their part, the team works. And so when you know that, okay, here's the goal, this is our goal, and you may say, okay, so how do we create a goal? How do we create a vision? You sit down and you start talking about it. What is that one thing? And I just suggest one thing. You don't have to come off the top with a lot of things. But what is that one thing that you wish for your family to happen in 2021? Or even before this year is over? What is that one thing that you would like to have accomplished? And it can be as small or as large. For some families, especially when, before the pandemic, it was getting to Disney World. You know what I mean? It was, creating, building a new home, or it was whatever it may be. But at least write that vision down. Write it down, and then figure out how are we going to all play our part in making this thing happen. What I know for certain is that when children know that there's a goal, when they see that vision and they understand, okay, this is a role, this is my part, children more than likely are going to get on board and do whatever it takes to make that thing happen. Children want some responsibility. They want to know that they're a part of this. But if there's no family vision, no family goals, then you're all over the place. What's that one thing that you want the family to do? It may be just to start having Sunday dinner together.
True.
So when you start just getting focused more on, okay, how in the world, how can I get my family to win? Start with having a family vision. And that all starts with sitting down and have a family meeting. I truly believe in family meetings. When you have a family meeting, everybody comes. Every family member comes to that family meeting. You're going to explain what the goal is. You're going to go over that vision. You're going to talk about the different roles of each family member. And then you're going to come up with a plan. How do we make it happen? If we're going to Disney in December of 2021, what do we need to do in order to make it happen? You're simplifying, you know what I mean? And you're working towards something. And so, as we're talking right now, like you just said, okay, this is a vision that you would love to see, for our listeners to be able to do this or do that. Okay, so that's a vision. That's a goal. How do we make it happen?
Right.
So in our meeting, in our team meeting between you and I, okay, what do I need to do to make that happen? What are you going to do? And it's the same thing in families. But you've got to put everybody in the position to win. And how do you do that? Give them some tools. Give them some tools to win. What are those tools? A vision. It's a goal, responsibility. This is what we're going to do. If we're going to go to Disney, this is what we're going to save. This is how much money everybody needs to bring into the family, whatever it is. But you need a family vision.
That's true.
You got to have a family vision.
I really like that, Tia. I mean, it falls in line with the vision and the Bible verse, where there is no vision, the people perish. It's
exactly
the family perishes. And I want to bring to you an old tradition that a lot of families may have shared as well. When we were kids, we always went to Granny's house on Christmas. But now both of my grannies have passed away, and that tradition is gone.
Right.
So and now that the years have passed, the family has gotten more and more apart than more and more together.
Right.
And I can see that they still acknowledge my grandmother on Facebook, but the reality of it is she ain't ever coming back.
Right.
And my ultimate question, I know we probably won't ever get back to Granny's house. You know,
Hmm.
it's still standing. You know, it's got electricity at it. It's got water and heat. But will we ever
Hmm.
get back to Granny's house for Christmas? I doubt it.
Yeah.
So, you know, like you say, you have to have that vision. You have to talk because a lot of families don't really have a tradition outside of just waking up and watching your kids be happy while you sit back and be miserable because you don't spend all the money, you know?
But we had a finance and we had in our budgeting. We did have a budgeting uh, 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 podcast earlier, and you can go back and look at that one. And we just learned how to budget so that we can keep living after Christmas. Because you're right, sometimes you just sit there in tears, like, "Oh my gosh, what have I done? What have I done?" But you just make the kids happy, And so, but we definitely, it's we and it's a great time right now is a perfect time to start your own family traditions. That's what this has been about, starting your own tradition. If you're no longer going to Granny's house, then okay, what can you take from those experiences, the joy that you had then? Bring that back up, because that's what it was all about. Nothing lasts forever, but it's about you recreating that same joy with your new family and with new people that God brings into your life. So that's how it continues. You know what I mean? It continues that some of the things that my mom and dad did for us, I'm doing it with my daughters. And and they're wondering, well, why does mom go so hard for Christmas? Why is everything wrapped? I mean, if it's a pair of socks, it's wrapped under the tree. And it's just because it comes back from the way that Christmas was presented to us, how those were things that we enjoyed doing. And so now my daughters get the same thing. They're getting older, so the gift selection is a lot different, but nevertheless it's still something that I enjoy doing. I still enjoy hiding the gifts and hiding just those things. But nevertheless, it's about creating new traditions, and we're able to do that right now. And so,
Right?
and as we come to a close, it has been a labor of love, as I said, getting these 12 podcasts together for Christmas. But no, not but I have enjoyed it. So
I'm glad. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
final word, final word. What's your final word?
I want to say to the listeners, man, if you believe, then I think you're halfway there.
Right.
Nothing is really certain in life, but death. And I think like we talked about in our last week of graduate school, the only thing that really means anything on that tombstone is that dash in between the time you was
That's true.
born and the time you passed.
That's
And
true.
I think we got right now to make a difference.
Exactly.
You know,
And
I,
that's the excitement in it. Yeah,
that
exactly.
that's just my words of encouragement. We got right now to make a
Yeah.
difference. Um,
That's true. That dash, what are you doing with that dash? And so, the excitement in it. Okay, if you're not, things have changed this season, make the most of it, make the best of it, because you're still dealing with this dash, regardless of whether your bank account is overflowing or if it's in the negative. You're still in this dash season. And so you've got to make the best of it, regardless. And so what do? You
right,
make a decision that regardless, you're going to be happy, you're going to be good, you're going to be okay, and it won't last. This season won't last always. It will get better. That's what we're hoping, is that you have just received some type of hope and inspiration to know that we love you. We are so concerned about you. We want you and your family to do well, and we really do wish you a merry Christmas, a happy new year. We're looking forward to coming back for next season, and I can't wait. I have a new co-host, so I'm blessed. I'm truly blessed. A new friend, a new co-host, and he's definitely been a blessing to both, me and my family, because, just to know that we have someone that, that is supportive and is there, that's huge. And so we're grateful for that. We're grateful for you, Mr. Dalcor. So thank you for
thank you.
just who you are, and we appreciate you.
All right, well, I'm definitely glad to be up. Definitely glad to be on board, and I just want to say thank you. You don't know how much this allows me to share what God has taken me through with so many
Right.
with so many people.
Right. Exactly. Well, as always, you want to close us out in prayer, praying for our
Yes.
families as they navigate through this, this season and into the new year until we meet again in 2021.
Okay, we'll do. Well, Lord, we want to first off saying thank you. Thank you for 12 days of Christmas podcasts. We definitely want to say thank you for the listeners that have supported the message that we've inspired. We want to send a, a holiday blessing to those who are in dark times and hard times right now, and that our message may be a sense of inspiration to them. Lord, we know if there is no struggle, there is no progress. And we know that through you're possible. All things are possible through you. So as we move into a new year, another Christmas, we want to ask that you be with us, be with our families, be with our loved ones, be with the ones that we have no clue of. Give us all a sense of joy and contentment in our hearts so that this world will be a better place until we're able to be home with you. I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas. Thank you. Amen.
Amen. Amen.